Hello, Sam here from Order Systems, and in this video I'd like to show you how we can integrate Akuvox intercoms into ELAN Nice Home Management. This here is an Akuvox E12W and it's part of our SIP-based intercom offering here at Order Systems. These intercoms got really cool features as standard, such as Bluetooth connectivity, QR code reading, facial recognition, RFID. You can also work on Wi-Fi as well, so you can use existing doorbell cabling infrastructure to power the intercom and place it onto the wireless network. First thing I'm going to do is go to the web UI of the Akuvox and change the default password, the default being admin. It's prompted me to change the password, so I'm going to use Order Systems 123 ! For this demo. I'll leave that for a moment and we'll go into Configurator. I'll go to the Messaging tab, Subsystem, and right click in Communication Devices and add the ELAN SIP server. Need to make sure that enrollment is set to open. And now I'll go back to the Akuvox web UI and log in with the credentials that I've just changed. First place we're going to go is Account and Basic, and here we have the SIP account which is currently unregistered. I'll enable it and I'll put ELAN in all the fields below, apart from username where I'll put front door, and this is what will show in Configurator. And I'll just put a password of ELAN2. Now the preferred SIP server IP, which is the ELAN controller, so mine is 192.168.7.119. This is my lab controller. In the real world, you should set your controller to be on a static IP address or a DHCP reservation. As soon as I press submit, we can go to Configurator and see that the SIP front door has been automatically pulled into Configurator. So we have the intercom enrolled into the ELAN SIP server. Take note that the video stream source and preview source is currently blank, which we'll come to shortly. Let's set up the call group in the web UI of the Akuvox. I'll go to Intercom, Basic, and under Group Call Number Local, I'll input ELAN at the IP address of the ELAN controller. So mine is 192.168.7.119. Okay, so that's done for now. Let's take a look at the camera settings. We can pull in an RTSP stream to ELAN if you wish, but I'm going to use OnViv in this video. In the link below this video is some documentation with the RTSP and OnViv URLs. So under OnViv, we're going to check that it's enabled. And again, in the real world, you'd want to change the password, but I'm going to leave it as admin in this video. Heading back to Configurator, I'll bring in the OnViv stream. I'll go to the System tab and Discovery, and Configurator has discovered the OnViv stream that I can install. When I click on install, I input the username and the password, and that's done. That will now be in the Video Subsystem tab. I'll rename it to be Akuvox Camera. And then you can assign it to the ELAN software MVR if you have that installed and configured. Before I set up call routing in the viewer and give this a test, there's a couple of extra steps that are often forgotten about. So in messaging, I need to set the video previews. So I'll select the OnViv stream that I brought in. And this is where we get early media on answering devices and getting video within the call. On the devices that I want to have access to the intercom, I need to enable the intercom on them by going to the Interfaces tab and choose my laptop, which is admin, and I'm going to put Intercom Auto as a selected device and do the same for the HR40. Finally, let's set up call routing. I need to launch the viewer now, and thankfully ELAN allows me to launch an iteration of the viewer within the management cloud. So I'll go to Settings and Advanced, and go to intercom global settings. Door station dial plans, I'll create 2, home and away. Under home, I'll go to tier 1 and I'll select the devices that I want to call when the system is in home mode. So I'm going to choose my laptop and the HR40. Press apply. Go back and now to away. And this could be set up to phone mobile phones or tablets when the system is in away mode. I'm using my phone to record this video, so I'm just going to add the HR40 to this. And done. Now we need to set up the dial plans. The home dial plan is going to be against the home mode and away dial plan against the away mode. And we're done. We're going to go back and check the system's in home mode. Press the intercom button and the viewer and the HR40 are both ringing. When I answer it, we get video and audio. Excellent, now we need to trigger the relay to open the gate or release a strike lock. And there's a couple of ways we can do this. In the Akuvox web UI, we go to access control and relay. Here we can set up standard relay connection. If you want to trigger a gate relay to open and close on its own, you would leave this as monostable. It would be down to the gate engineer to configure the time the gate is held open for before closing itself. If you want to hold the gate open, you can choose bistable. This toggles the relay state. Again, discuss with the gate engineer the connections and configurations of the gate motor. We can also set up DTMF codes here to trigger the relay. So by default, it's 1-digit DTMF and a value of 0. Below that is the security relay, which is an additional security control to prevent someone from physically shorting out the terminal connections of the unit. The security relay product code is SR01. Then the open relay via DTMF I'm going to set to all numbers, and you can add access control lists here for additional security. So let's trigger the standard relay output. We can set the DTMF mode to be 1, 2, 3 or 4 digits. I'm going to leave it as 1 and the digit is 0. Let's go back to configurator and set this up. I'll go to the messaging tab and click on the drop down arrow for the SIP front door and go to outputs. Under output 1, I'll choose device and the drop down will let me choose DTMF. I'm going to give it a name of gate open and the type is momentary. Press apply. Let's now make a call. We're now getting audio and video, and you'll see that when I press gate open, it presents me with a keypad. And when I press 0, we hear the welcome message and the relay clicking, indicating the relays are closing and opening any gates. Excellent. Now let's do a HTTP trigger. Personally, I like DTMF and putting in a code to open a gate, but let's go through the alternative method. The HTTP URL is within the documentation in the description of this video. The first thing to do is to enable the HTTP URL trigger in the Akuvox web UI. And for now, I'm going to disable high security mode. This is under security and basic, and we have high security mode. This just encrypts the credentials that are in transit. In configurator, we head to the input output tab and go to generic HTTP device and add a device, and I'll call it Akuvox Gate Relay. Input the IP address, so this is currently on 192.168.7.113, and the HTTP username and password that's in the web UI. Again, I suggest this is changed in the real world. And now I'm going to right click on HTTP device and add a new HTTP code, and I'll call it gate relay. And I'll paste the code in. Again, this is in the resources in the description. I press test.
Welcome, please come in.
And we get the welcome message. I'll go back to the communication of the HTTP driver and we see the connection says OK. Excellent. Now let's assign this to the gate open method. I go to messaging and to SIP front door and expand the instance and change it from DTMF to event map CMD or event map command. Done. Now let's go to the event mapper tab and add a new event map and call it gate relay control. In the event window, I go to add, system families intercom, SIP front door, user output 1 and press OK. Then in the Actions tab, I'll go to System Family, Generic HTTP Device, Gate Relay, and then Send. Let's test it. Got the call. Let's answer it. Got video and audio. Press gate open.
Welcome.
We get the welcome message. Excellent. We are all good. Finally, if you have a security relay on the system and would like to initiate the relay via the DTMF method, the security relay pairs with the intercom and prevents someone from removing the intercom from the wall, shorten the relay pairs together and open the gate. The intercom sends a message to the security relay to open the gate or close the relay. Let's quickly do this. So in the web UI, I go to access control and relay and enable security relay. Press submit and I'm going to give this a quick test. And you'll hear the signal it sends to the security relay from the intercom. In this window, we can see the DTMF number is 2. So let's set this up. Back in configurator and messaging, I go to outputs and change the event map command to DTMF. Gonna make a call. And when I answer it, press number 2 instead of 0.
Welcome, please come in.
And we hear the relay triggering that message to the security relay, and that's done. Finally, let's look at receiving some motion alerts. First of all, we need to download the intrinsic dev string to event driver. You can purchase this from their website and save it in your ELAN drivers folder. In configurator, I'll go to the input output tab and serial devices. Right click and add a new serial device and import the driver from your drivers folder. The driver then gives us a port number to use, which we're going to use in a moment. Press the drop down arrow and click on strings, and string 1, I'm going to put motion. Press apply and that's done for now. So back in the intercom's web UI, we go to surveillance and motion. I'm going to enable suspicious object movement detection to video detection and draw a box in the thumbnail window, and depending on the browser you're using, this determines if it will show a thumbnail. And the action to execute is going to be HTTP. The command's going to be HTTP followed by the IP address in the controller, so mine is 192.168.7.119, followed by the port number that the driver gives us, so input output, string to event, and it's a listen socket of 10001. Then we do /motion. Excellent, that's the full HTTP URL string. Now, let's program the push message and the event. In Configurator, under the Messaging tab, go to Push Messages. I'm going to create one called Motion Detected Front Door, followed by the time and date token, and that's done. Now the event map. I'm going to add an event map and call it Motion Detected Front Door. Add an event, system family, find the string to event driver, and when string 1 is received, we then go down to the Action tab and add interface device, admin. It's then pop message, motion detected, and OK. You can then also add a timeline stamp to the ELAN software NVR if you've got that configuration set up. And I wave my hand in front of the camera and we get that push message, motion detected, front door with the time and date. And that's the basic setup of an Akuvox intercom into ELAN or Nice Home Management. Thank you very much for watching, and if you have any questions regarding the integration of Akuvox into ELAN, please reach out to us at sales@aldersystems.co.uk.